Welcome to my simple daily life in Russia, my dear friend. Today I'll treat you with food for thought and share my daily thoughts that have been knocking on my head and touching my heart. Please take a moment to relax and to make yourself at home. Do you think lying is good or bad? Is it possible to give a definite answer to this question? I'll tell you a secret. I lied to my parents recently. I do that a lot, as you may have noticed. This time I told them that I would treat them to the best Armenian coffee they had not tried yet, which is quite expensive and can only be found in the southern regions of Russia and of course in Armenia itself. However, it was ground chicory root. And they didn't suspect anything and really enjoyed the taste of this exotic coffee drink while they were visiting me. Mom's love for coffee is like a heavy stone that she habitually carries with her, but according to doctors, it's time to throw it away. I always have a cup of chicory when I'm working on my clients' photos. It tastes so much better than coffee, but it's caffeine-free, good for digestion, regulates blood sugar and strengthens the heart. Plus, it's way cheaper. Everyone in our family, from young to old, except my husband and me, loves everything that is advertised. I've offered to replace coffee with chicory many times, citing the opinions of famous doctors, until my mother told me, "Don't bother, I won't even try this stuff." So I tricked them into doing what they had initially flatly refused to do. I don't know if it was a good idea or not, but I took the chicory out of the branded packaging and put it into paper bags, saying that it was sold by weight. I gave it to them as a gift when they left. And now they brag to their neighbors and treat them to this exclusive Armenian coffee. Do you believe that a little white lie is harmful, or is it helpful? Is there even an answer to this question, my dear friend? However, my lies don't end there. Turns out I'm a serial liar. I often deceive the people I feed. They are reluctant to try something new and unfamiliar, so I come up with a story or legend for each of my healthy meals. That way they at least give them a try. For example, today I decided to take a desperate step, and looking ahead, I will say that it was a success. I replaced boiled potatoes with some young raw zucchini and marinated it in a sauce made of natural honey and apple cider vinegar with spices. My ancestors, the Tatars and Bashkirs, are similar to the Italians. Every housewife should know how to make all sorts of homemade pasta. We call it takmach, kulama, bishbarmak or lapsha. It has a variety of forms, but it's always white, thin and cooked in meat broth. As they say in Russia, I hang noodles in their ears saying that my green pasta is a real Italian pasta recipe, which makes half the world go crazy. Traditional Russian salad vinaigrette with carrots, green peas, pickles, beets with pickled zucchini instead of the usual boiled potatoes. Went great with my so-called Italian pasta made with greens and whole grain flour. I'm a kind of culinary fraudster in especially large portions. In the early fall, which in southern Russia feels like a sweltering summer, there is a film fest here. I was only able to find time to go to the movies on the very last day of the festival.
Занятия бесплатные.
It's similar to the Cannes Film Festival in some ways, but on a smaller scale, of course, and this year it was without the lavish celebrations and the red carpet. I don't know about the Cannes, but here all the movies are shown for free. Maybe because of my job, but when I go somewhere, I see my own movie with its characters. Settings. It has its own soundtrack and its own storyline. I wanted to check out some short art house movies, but I got there late and the place was packed.
Солнце брызнет по весне, только сумерки для снег.
So I found myself in an almost empty hall. To my surprise, the first words I heard were
Я граблю только очень плохих людей. Все деньги я отдаю на нужды вашего детдома.
my goodness, a kindred spirit, another fraudster for good. You know, I love movies that make you think and don't give you ready-made answers.
Дело были 2 и 17 июля. Вам же нужно честно отвечать, да? Да. Паша, все?
In these films, the boundaries of law and justice may not be quite clear.
Это не все так однозначно.
And the so-called villain isn't necessarily a bad guy, but rather a character who ultimately does good. It's been ages since I laughed and cried so much at the same time. According to the laws of the genre, the good triumphed over the evil. I gave this movie the highest rating, not because the good guys beat the bad guys. But because it subtly shows how good qualities always prevail over negative ones. It's weird being surrounded by tourists right after a movie. It feels like you've stepped into another world. You haven't had time to digest the plot yet, but you can already feel the breath of the sea. At the beach, the line between good and evil gets blurry. Here I always see only nice and happy movies, with scenes of peace and tranquility. people come here to relax. And they leave all the bad things far behind. They switch off their daily routine and feed only on pure energy of nature. And human nature is goodness. I believe it. It can't be turned off. The main character went his Robin Hood path to the fullest. At the end of the movie, he was on the verge of prison and death. He felt that he had done his duty and brought justice to those who deserve it, and ceased his criminal activity for good. Since no one hasn't declassified me so far, not even my parents' neighbors who still consider chicory an expensive Armenian coffee, I'm going to keep doing my criminal activity of little white lies. You will not turn me in, my dear friend, right? And then I'll tell you another 1001 amusing stories. With love, you're dreaming.